Okay, people keep asking about watercolor markers, and I just wanted to show you. Here's a watercolor marker. What I did was lay with the pencil. I just laid, some apple colors down, and I layered it. I got some lighter reds and some darker reds, and I layered it. And then I added water to the edges, and then I ended up with that. This one is with pen, and I was showing you can put the pen down first. Let me see. I'll do a little demonstration since I keep trying to video this and it's not working. But you put the pen down first, but you gotta quickly with pen. You gotta get the water right away if you want the watercolor look. And then see, and that's made a beautiful apple for me, and like with a wash. And if you were to leave that pen there, before you got it wet, then you would see the hard line of and with the pen you can also come back in and do some more on top of the water. But if you were to just say just put the pen down, now it's wet, it's not doing it. If you were to just put the pen down and then wait and move on to something else and then come back with water, it's going to leave a hard line. But pens are really nice. I use those for details after I've already put washes down, and I come back in with the pens to put in permanent. You have the thick end for painting, and you have the thin end for details, which is not showing up there. It is the thin end for details. This is a watercolor gel stick that I did this one, and so basically it feels like a glue stick, and you're just putting it on. You don't even have to put it on pretty, because when you come back and add the water, it just makes this really rich, luxurious paint. It's beautiful, and it's just really rich and luxurious, and I love it. If you're, but it also will wash also, as you can see from this one. If you use more water, you can pull it out and make a wash with it. For pencils, we'll go back to pencils. I'll do another pencil for you. I like pencils because they, I would just color my apple. This is not me trying to be a great artist. This is me just showing you how this works. I would color the outsides maybe darker, where I got my light source. I'm going to pretend that's brown because I don't want to go find a brown. And then I would get other markers, or other pencils. Let's see, I'll put some green in here. A little green spot here and here maybe. And then maybe a lighter color red here in the middle. But you can layer, you can put yellows on top of it. You can put greens. You can layer 3-4 colors and get all kinds of color mixing going on. And then you bring your water in as usual. And it's just lovely. It's a way to get more control of your watercolors. You kind of get what colors you want on there first. And the thing is, if you keep going and you want that light, you're going to bring your color over, so you got to rinse it out. And then if you want it lighter, then you're just going to do that so that you don't wash away the... Anyway, that's watercolor pencil. So that's how you use watercolor pencil, watercolor pen, or watercolor gel. You lay it on first, then you add your water, and it turns it into paint. If you wanted to come back now on this pencil one and add some yellows and some browns and other colors, my suggestion is don't do it while it's wet. Let it dry, and then come in with the pencil and do it again. I found that if I come back in with the pencil, which requires some pressure, it tears the paper up. It's better to wait till it dries and then come back in. So color as much or as little as you want for the first layer. Add the water, let it dry, then come back in with another layer, wet it, let it dry, come back in with another layer, wet it, let it dry. Or just see what happens when you blend it all together. The other way to use colored pencils is to make these color swatches. So basically, I just picked a bunch of pencil colors, and I made color swatches. Just you put it on pretty thick, depending on how much you think you're going to need. And you can actually just, but that, okay, so I've got these Faber-Castell, there's a guy's name. What's it called? Oh, I can't remember. They're Faber-Castell, Albert Durr. And I've got 120 set. And it's got all these greens, all these reds, all these pinks, all these orange, all these purples. And what I love about that is I don't have to mix my watercolors. And I have a very simple 10 color watercolor tube set and a very simple pan set. And this way, it's just another choice. But what you could do is just use it like if it's paint. I'm just going to add water to this swatch. You could get all your swatches that you want. And I just add water to the swatch. And now you can just paint just like as if it was watercolors. And it's amazing. So now I've got this really light apple wash. And I can wait till it dries and come back in with another layer. Or I could pick a different color and lay in some on top of it. But see, it's because it's wet now, it's not going to really add those very much. So you let it dry, and then you come in with more. But same thing with this purple here. If I wanted to make a grape, now you've got this nice light watery color grape. If you made this thicker, you could pick up more pigment, and then it's basically just like painting with watercolor, because it is watercolor, but it was in pencil form, so you just make swatches and then you use it as a palette to do that. Or you can go ahead and use the pencil directly on it and then add your water, let it dry, add more water. So crayons work the same way. You color with crayon, you can just do it kind of messy and then add your water, and it smooths it into this really nice, rich, luxurious paint. And I have done some amazing things. I just got these watercolors, pencils, and I've done a person, and it looks just like her. It looks so realistic. And I did a cat, and it's really, really realistic. And I haven't really tried the lighter watercolor method that most people do with the watery stuff, besides doing experiments on here, because that's not my style. I'm an oil painter, so I kind of go thick and realistic, but I know it would work for that too. So I hope this helps people a little bit. You can do watercolor gels, you can do watercolor crayons. Those are kind of inexpensive. You can do watercolor pencils, but I would suggest a small set of higher quality, than otherwise you're just going to end up with, no, it's just not going to be as good. These are really rich and luxurious. And you could get better sets than what I have too. Mine was just an intermediate set, but I hope that helps somebody. That's the way I use colored pencils. And I'll post the pictures with this, of the two things that I did, so you can see. But I know that it would work for people who want to do ethereal watercolor painting too. Hope that helps. Bye.